We have come to the end of the first day of questioning of the undercover police officer Robert Hastings, who, using the cover name Rob Harrison, infiltrated the International Solidarity Movement, No Borders Network, Rampart Social Centre, State of Emergency Collective. I'm joined by James Simpson of Counterfire.
Yeah.
What do you make of what we've heard from Robert Hastings today?
Well, I'm glad I'm going back to Bristol tonight.
Yeah.
I think you guys have got 2 more days of this. It's going to be quite long, and as John Mitting indicated, it's going to be quite a dark subject in the morning tomorrow.
Indeed, yeah. We just ended with Mitting signing off by saying to Robert Hastings that he needs to be fresh in the morning because he's going to be asked about Maya first thing. I would say if it was David Barr asking questions, we would have finished on a cliffhanger of questions about Maya.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the first issue in the morning. He also turned to the public gallery and told us to be quiet for that. He said that the noise we'd made previously hadn't been that unimportant things.
The problem was that the noise that was made was because some of the responses from Hastings was quite frankly ridiculous. And he was just absolutely some nonsense that he was coming up with.
There was a lot of nonsense. I would say there was a fair bit that was I can't recall.
I can't recall, and it's every justification is it's ISM. Atif Chowdhury is linked to ISM, therefore we can spy on his family, do anything we like. It's ISM related, and therefore, and also, and this has been throughout Tranche 3 actually, and I haven't seen you guys since Christmas. Like these people, they're just no filter sort of thing. They're like completely. These are special branch officers. They're experienced policemen, things. They've been through other parts of special branch, and their justification for everything is we just hoover up everything. Same with Jenna, same with Srirachi, same thing, and it's the same excuse all Tranche 3. And that's just, it's ridiculous. They're human beings, they're people, they know what they should and shouldn't be doing. They know that they shouldn't be reporting on children. You can't just go, this is context because there's 2 people called that name, and this one might come along with his kid. And it's just like,
so we need to know the name of the kid so we got the right one.
Exactly. And it's absolutely ridiculous behavior. And he's particularly he's just sticking to 3 or 4 little tropes and lines around and round with ISM being a justification for everything.
We've seen a lot of his reports this afternoon. One of them was reporting on Atif Chowdhury's brothers and their families and their jobs and everything about them. And it was put to him that, surely this must be distressing for them. You reported on Atif Chowdhury in so many different ways. You reported on his relationship with his now wife, which he denies remembering recommending her to live at the house, which was something that Atif's very sure about. You DJ'd at his sister's wedding. Do you not realize you've tainted these memories for him? He said, well, I could see that, but the deployment of an undercover officer has been catastrophic for me. He has very much painted himself as the victim in all this, rather than the perpetrator.
He admitted that his deployment and all the SES deployments were catastrophic for the people they spied on, but then he including mine at the end, which was one of the loudest noises that the gallery made, and it was quite frankly ridiculous.
Shocking as well. Just a complete. He has no idea of the optics of what he's doing at all.
And it's the 2nd or 3rd time he said something quite narcissistic like that, where he's being like, "Woe betide me," basically. And the stuff with his ex-partner this morning when he was like, can we refer to her as my ex-partner, not my partner, because that would upset her, and this deployment has upset her quite a lot, and from what I gather there's other reasons that she might be upset with him following on from his deployment, which may be more prescient in her mind was why she doesn't want to be associated in terms of a current partner to Mr. Hastings. But yes, I probably shouldn't go too far down that road.
I
don't know what's public.
Well, quite. Let's keep it to what is public knowledge. There's been a lot. We've gone through a lot of his reports this afternoon. I would say that's been the majority of things. A lot of these have come in quite quick succession. Is because there's so many of them are just literally he reports on anybody who lives in the same housing co-op as Atif Chowdhury. Atif Chowdhury, who he's reporting on because he's a member of ISM, even though he's no longer an ISM, but he couldn't be sure of that, despite the fact that he was visiting him pretty much every day, spending hours in his company. it's really
going to his family functions.
Yeah, going to his family functions, having him talk about the deepest, darkest personal things about his life. I mean, this isn't some sort of acquaintanceship he's got with Atif Chowdhury. He has made himself almost like a best friend to him by just being with him all the time.
What was that justification for one of the reports when I think it's Atif Chowdhury's when he's meeting his partner? And she works for Red Pepper.
Yes. Well, she's written an article for Red Pepper.
One article.
Yeah. I mean, this is, it hardly works for.
And that's Red Pepper. It was leftist.
Yes.
Another noise from the back.
Yes.
It's like, and he said it like it was toxic.
Yeah, like it was a swear word. Yeah, it was leftist. Insane.
Yes. And I find right at the end there, we had the No Borders stuff started coming up, and literally 3 pages of email addresses, which are clearly probably just it could have been, they were suggesting it was taken from the Rise Up server. That that's just been handed around.
Right. So I mean, well, what he's done, I mean, the way he's talking about Rise Up is if it's some sort of website. I mean, it is a website. It was a website. I'm not sure if it still exists. And it would provide a lot of email lists. So I mean, this would have been the emails that he had harvested from the No Borders Network email list, possibly the London one, possibly the UK wide one. Given the length of it, it's hard to take. Could be either. But certainly. I mean, this is just him hoovering up really basic information.
Hoovering up of email addresses and mobile numbers is really concerning. You look at the 80s reporting. You get the 2 mentions, then you got the registry file.
Yeah.
How does that work when he's just hoovering up all these email numbers? Things you go to 3 different meetings, and people start thinking of 3 different meetings for different things. Are you on some list now? What sort of breaches of your?
Well, I would refer you to Robert Hastings, who said there's no negative effects of somebody having a special branch file opened on them, because these files were kept under lock and key, and they weren't accessible to just anyone.
I mean, when he says things like that, I really feel like Dave Smith should be giving evidence.
Yes, quite. Yes. I mean, there was. That was in relation to someone who was living in the same housing co-op as Atif Chowdhury, and he was going to visit Cuba. So obviously he was political. So he didn't know if he might have been to Palestine as well.
Exactly.
Could have been
that link. And some sort of left-wing politics.
Some sort of left-wing politics. Going to Cuba, fucking hell.
But I think him beyond others that I've seen, he doesn't seem to have the awareness to realise what he's saying when he's just saying. He's more blatant when he's saying that it's targeted at left-wing politics, left-wing movements. And it's some of the others have been a lot more careful around that, I feel. And maybe he's not the smartest cook, maybe he's a little bit away from the intelligence scene because he's got a new job for the last 10, 12 years. But he really, A, doesn't like left-wing politics, but B...
No. He thinks it's a justification. He views it as leftist politics, i.e. it's some form of criminality, i.e. if someone was ever somehow associated with it, they're fair game to be reported on. And he makes that leap repeatedly as more and more obscure connections of people are reported on, and it's put to him because he doesn't, at no point does he accept that what he did might have been an overreach. He's absolutely convinced that all his reporting is absolutely justified.
He hasn't given an inch on that.
No, not an inch. And there was one bit where he refers to a woman as having a robust figure, a female activist involved with No Borders, and he said, "Well, I could have said heavy set." And so it was pointing to him, this might be sexist. And he said, "Oh, no, it's polite. That's the polite way of saying it."
I think another good example of how obstinate he's been with this is the John Charles de Menezes stuff.
Yes.
There was those 2 reports in a row where literally they're 2 lines long. They've got 3 bits of information. They've got an activist name. The first one was Asad Rahman. They've got the John Charles de Menezes campaign, and they've got the email address. And he's denying that the only 2 important bits are the email address and the activist, and the fact that both mentioned John Charles de Menezes has no relevance whatsoever. And it's just like, literally, there's hardly any other words there. Yeah. You've done it twice.
Yeah.
You just taken... he made himself look stupid, to be honest. But
yes, yeah. I mean, he did. A lot of the noise public gallery has been laughter because the things he said have just been so ridiculous, and him saying it with a straight face. There was one point where it felt like he's kind of putting on a voice almost. I mean, he's sitting there in what I think's a velour suit. Other people have suggested it might be corduroy.
I might be a wrong man for that one.
I mean, who knows? But he sat there, the way that he's behaving, the way that he's talking, and then he was asked about the young Asian woman who was living with Atif Chowdhury, the one who wrote an article for Red Pepper, and he said, was he sexually attracted to her? And he said, well, if you mean if I have sex with her, well, no, I didn't. Said, well, were you sexually attracted? Well, there may have been some flirting. And I said, well, did you make an advance towards her, even though you knew that she had a partner? And he went, no, she was. And then he spoke in a different voice, and he then he stopped himself. And it was like, oh, he's starting to break. And
there is very much underlying a temper.
Yes. Oh my God, he's angry as fuck.
Yes. There's some, and if he's going for the whole 3 days, I can't imagine he's going to hold that together, because it's been relatively sanguine, the questions today compared to what they're going to be tomorrow, I think.
Yes. And I think that the Council of the Inquiry is not doing a lot in the way of follow-up questions. When he gets angry, she's just moving on. I think a different council might sort of poke the bear a little bit.
Yeah, I do. I was hoping on the bus this morning I'd see Mr. Barr.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody had that. Everybody was thinking that.
He's in a darkened room somewhere preparing for Bob Lambert in the summer, I think.
Yes, I would imagine so. Bob Lambert, who is on the same time as Glastonbury would be happening, Glastonbury happening. A different summer for me this year. What joy!
Preparing for the big boss at the end of the level.
Yes. Yeah, I hope those knives are sharp. But yeah, I mean, I think he is very angry. Like you say, I hope that over the next couple of days he does break, because we're certainly not getting any bloody sense out of him. I mean, he has this tendency to kind of deliver this very long-winded version of any sort of answer, sort of going into like kind of, no, I would not be able to report on that particular individual without being given the possibility of seeing the entirety of my reporting on that, and then to ascertain whether that individual was there. It's just like, fucking get to the point, you prick. I'm really irritating, thoroughly irritated by him.
But you've only got another 2 days.
Only another 2 days in his company before I boil myself to just get the stench of him off. There's been so many things that he's being asked about which have been thoroughly irritating. I don't feel we've got a huge amount of extra insight into what his deployment was about. Is anything? I'm aware that you need to go and get a train. Is there anything you want to add?
I've got to go and get me bus. But
sorry.
I think the main thing is solidarity with Mayor from last week, or the early start this week.
Yeah, last week.
But yes, I hope she's okay tomorrow, because her testimony was amazing and super brave, and something that I can't imagine how I'd be able to cope with at all. So yeah, solidarity for tomorrow. Hope you guys get back to your relatives, all your homes okay, and well done for all the jobs that you've been doing. And if you're doing Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, I should be able to make this.
Okay, yes, yeah, we will be doing a recap of the week. It might not be on Sunday just because it's the end, and I might just have to do something different with myself this weekend. But
you guys have been doing a fantastic job.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Everything. So
yeah,
it makes a difference to us when we're at work and we can't tune in for the day, or the podcast is being suspended, the Twitter stream.
Yeah.
If I'm writing anything, the first thing I go to is your Twitter stream and the Top's Twitter stream to remind me of the day. So.
It's interesting, actually, just on the restriction orders, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was talked about during the questioning this afternoon, which was on topics which had been the reason for the restriction orders when Atif Chowdhury gave his evidence. And there was a whole bunch of stuff which, I mean, I deleted a load of comments about, which were then being talked about in open session, which shows that I think that the inquiry did not check with Atif about those topics before putting in restriction orders about them, which is a very frustrating process.
I mean, I think this is something that's really going to have to be looked at for someone like Lambert as well, who's tricky.
Yes,
to say the least,
absolutely.
Some Agent 72 and some interesting managers, but even more so for Tranche 4.
Yes,
because those things have to be cleaned up. Because I feel in Tranche 3 compared to the earlier tranches, there's been a lot of superfluous restriction orders made. Broadcasts being suspended a lot more than possibly was required or needed to.
Very much.
Maybe serving the benefits of Metropolitan Police and the SDS officers,
100%,
rather than the activists.
Yes, I mean that's very much been the case. I think that the member of the inquiry legal team who is asking for the broadcast to be suspended so that the judge can consider, the chair rather, consider the merits of an application for a restriction order, has had far too low a barrier, a level for what needs to be taken forward. I think they should be much more discerning on that. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow, even more of the undercover officer, Robert Hastings. In the morning, he will be being asked about Maya. It will be intense. If anybody who didn't follow the questioning of Maya last week, it will include details around some of the worst forms of sexual abuse you're likely to hear. Really, really upsetting. I'm not looking forward to it in the least. But we'll be covering it in detail. We'll be doing a preview recording just before the hearings start at 10 a.m. Please join us for that if you're able to.
Solidarity to Maya.
Solidarity to Maya, yeah, absolutely.